I'd like to now welcome Adara Wiren Singh. He is the Product Program Specialist from Clean Energy Council. Adara will provide you with information on the CEC accreditation process and how you can navigate that process. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I will speak to you on the CEC's part in this whole project. The CEC has different parts that we do. So we are a member organization that represents over 500 different members, and also we are representing the 5,000 plus installers that are in Australia currently. I will first speak about the Approved Solar Retailer Code of Conduct. The Solar Retailer Code of Conduct that has committed the Clean Energy Council, the primary objective of the code is to improve the standards in the industry. It is the only solar industry code of conduct that is authorized by the Australian Consumer and Competition Commission. Introduced in 2013 November, the Code of Conduct is a way for the solar business to show that their commitment to the responsible sales and marketing activities and solar industry best practice. How does this code relate to batteries, you might ask? The code was designed to improve marketing and sales practice in the industry for solar specifically initially. It picks up on the safety and technical standards aspects by requiring its signatories to use the CEC accredited installers. Originally, it applied mainly to PV and then integrated storage devices as they came into the market. The code administers and the code review panel can modify the code and supporting documentation to reflect the changing industry and ensure the standards set by the code continue to be met. Battery storage is the latest big growth area in the industry. Governments and other organizations are adopting this code for the sale of batteries because, while a number of requirements under the code apply specifically to PV, the code is relevant to the sale of batteries. We want battery consumers to have the same protections that PV consumers have had through the code. Example is consumers' entitlement to refund if a retailer sells them a system that's not suited to them, their specific needs, and then changes the equipment or design at the time of installation. A 5-year whole of system warranty so the consumer is not left chasing a manufacturer or an importer if the system fails. The assessment and compliance systems that support the code help battery consumers identify which retailers have committed to the industry best practice. We are currently consulting also on how to develop the code so that it more explicitly explains to battery systems. What are the benefits to consumers by being a part of the retailer code? The code makes the process of buying solar simpler and safer, and batteries as well, for consumers by enabling them to choose from a list of retailers who have been through a rigorous screening process. Purchasing a system is generally a one-off, relatively complicated purchase for consumers and may involve dealing with several parties. The code has been developed to ensure our approved solar retailers provide consumers accurate and clear information to assist the purchasing decisions. The code aims to ensure that the retailers are fully accountable for the actions of subcontracted parties, so every aspect of the solar purchasing experience is guaranteed. Approved solar retailers must provide a standard 5-year whole of system warranty on all solar installations, including battery. Use only CEC accredited installers and designers. Provide honest and accurate information about the best system for the home or business based on site-specific estimates and performance estimates. Properly advise their customers on grid connection procedures and potential changes to electricity tariffs. Ensure the customer receives essential information when buying their system under a finance agreement. What are the benefits to a retailer by signing up to the code? And approved solar retailers are provided with an e-pack containing a range of collateral to promote their business, including use of logo and certificate, verifying their approved solar retailer status. The logo will also be displayed on the CEC's solar retailer website, which in the last quarter had 12,000 hits. Also increasingly, the state government, like South Australian government, is requiring that vendors become solar retailers or dealing exclusively with them who are part of the solar retailer code. How do you become a solar retailer? An applicant must operate for a minimum of 12 months in the industry before being able to sign up to the code. Also, submit all documentation as they would provide a consumer if they were purchasing solar from them to be assessed for compliance within Australian consumer law and also within the code. Provide a standard minimum warranty period of 5 years for the whole system, including workmanship and installation and products. Provide an example of a site-specific performance estimate that the CEC will review. Clearly explain the process surrounding the payment and trade of STCs to the consumers. Not have a director or a manager that has been part of a failed company, a solar company before. The CEC will review based on this criteria and reject if key requirements aren't met. Otherwise, we will request further clarification and amendments be made until we are satisfied the applicant shall comply with the code. Generally, it takes about 8 weeks to review an application. Can take up to 8 weeks. However, we try to review an application within 4 weeks for a retailer code. Well, it's been very successful, the code, since its inception in 2013. In South Australia alone, since 1 September of this year, we've had 25 new applicants applying to become a part of the code. And currently, there are 35 plus retailers capable of operating in Australia and approved retailers. Some businesses may feel that applying to become an approved retailer may be too difficult for them as they don't have the documents in place to be approved. This is where the CEC has created this agreement to assist businesses, the Solar PV Sale and Installation Agreement. This agreement is provided in Word format so it can be tailored to meet the needs of any business. Bearing in mind that the real value of the agreement is that it has been drafted by a leading commercial law firm that has specifically for the solar industry to facilitate your compliance with relevant laws. It is clearly set out and easy to understand. Any company using the agreement as a part of their code application will be subjected to the standard assessment, and there are no guarantees that the application will be approved. But it does put you in very good position. Now I'll talk about the boring bit, about the fees involved. As much as we'd love to do what we do for free, we can't. So we do charge a small fee for the service we provide. And as you can see from here, the fees are up there. Oops, sorry. Do you want me to go back? Do you want to go red one? Sorry about that. I'll now move on. Would you want me to read it out? It's okay. The application fee is generally $200, and the annual fee is based on the number of kilowatt hours, a kilowatt of solar installed by that company in the 12 months, and it's calculated 80 cents per kilowatt. And the minimum fee is $600 annually, and the maximum is capped at $6,000. The Clean Energy Council has invested considerable resources into bringing the code to the attention of solar retailers themselves and to all levels of government and other procurement bodies. Our focus is now on raising the awareness amongst consumers.
Is it possible to put your phones on mute, please? Because there's a lot of background noise.
They won't hear me. Our goal is for consumers to ask the solar company they're dealing with whether it is a CEC-approved retailer. become a solar retailer today. Oops, sorry. So, after noting the lack of product safety standards, now I'll talk about the battery list that is currently being developed. After noting a lack of product safety standards in Australia for battery storage systems, the industry came together to develop an agreed minimum standard to work to. And this guide, which is on the page, the resulting best practice guide and the matrix was developed by the industry associations involved in renewable energy battery storage equipment, with input from energy network regulators, operators, private certification bodies, and other independent stakeholders and consumers, and also electrical safety regulators. The guide provides a minimum level of electrical safety criteria that could be applied to lithium-based battery systems. The listing will include battery systems and pre-assembled battery energy storage. Battery energy storage systems. We will use 3 compliance methods to assess against the battery safety guide. And currently, we are taking applications for the battery safety guide, and we will be launching it at All Energy. Now I'll talk about the battery endorsement. This is what we are doing to ensure that there will not be a setback to our industry. A grid-connected PV installer will need to go to a registered training organization and undertake the training of the modules, the UERE 4002A and UERE 5001A, the 2 training modules, and then complete a case study, and that will be assessed by the CEC's team, and then you will be given the endorsement. This generally takes a few weeks to get this endorsement. And we have also designed a guideline to help installers understand an easy way to install grid-connected battery systems. You might ask, why do I need to do more training? Well, the industry highlighted that the current training units for Grid Connect and SPS has gaps when it comes to installation of battery systems. The design principle for standalone system is based on providing a system that meets the customer's electricity needs for 24 hours a day. The design principles for a Grid Connect system with batteries will depend on why a person requires the system. This might vary depending on the load profile of the person, their grid requirements, and constraints. There are a number of system configurations for grid-connected systems with battery storage, which can lead to differences in how system interconnect with the switchboard, and in some cases, with specific load circuits within the switchboard. It is important that the designers and installers have the skills and knowledge required so that the system designed and installed meet the requirements of the customer, and more importantly, when they will not be able to explain why to the customer. Training units are done in the past, will be based on all battery systems, including lithium. This is where the storage industry is heading.